All right, we are locked and loaded with another great show on tap. This is the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. What we're diving into on today's show, a training camp preview, things to look out for with players reporting today. Kyle Shanahan talked about Trey Lance ushering in this new era. Also thanked Jimmy Garoppolo, and more nuggets from Mike Silver about some of these lingering concerns around Trey Lance. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is your best opportunity to get informed and entertained and filled in on the best Niners coverage. We're going to be pushing out videos every single day and sometimes multiple videos per day. So subscribe for updates, news, and rumors with training camp officially underway. You see the link down below. It's youtube.com/49ers TV, or even easier, just hit that red subscribe button. So we begin with this. Kyle Shanahan joined the Tim Kawakami show. Kawakami, obviously a longtime Bay Area sports writer, now with The Athletic, and had a couple of really interesting things to say and basically ushered in this new Trey Lance era and thanked Jimmy Garoppolo for everything that he's done with the San Francisco 49ers. So Shanahan on Lance and Jimmy G. We had an awesome run with Jimmy. It was great. I was so happy with how Jimmy Garoppolo played last year that he almost took us to the Super Bowl, got healthy, and the guys around him played really well around him. But this is something that we did last year, knowing where we wanted to go with this franchise and how you balance out a salary cap, how you balance out a roster, and Jimmy gave Trey a year that I thought he needed just to get used to this league, get his feet wet a little bit. I think our team's ready for Lance right now, going through OTAs. I'm just pumped to get to work and provide him some practices because I know the kid has abilities. He's made of the right stuff. He just needs the reps. Now, Kyle Shanahan a couple of times throughout this offseason has indicated and pointed toward Trey Lance being the starting quarterback. And really everything is falling in line with that. And the 49ers' plan last year worked out exactly like we discussed. If Lance, after getting selected number 3 in the 2021 NFL Draft, was ready, great. You play him. He can bring this different level of explosiveness to this offense. And if Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, then you insert Trey Lance, just like the Niners did last year, to get his feet wet, to get him some of that experience in those 2 starts. But if Lance wasn't ready, and let's be real, it looked as though he was not, then you just let Lance develop behind a very, very serviceable, respected quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, and it worked out for the fan base, it worked out for the organization, worked out for Garoppolo, Lance, and this coaching staff because the Niners made another deep run in the playoffs en route to the NFC Championship game. Kyle Shanahan also asked about Trey Lance's arm fatigue, which we'll talk about a little bit later from Mike Silver. He did another podcast with Colin Cowherd. Shanahan said it's not a concern at all. As for Jimmy Garoppolo practicing if he is not traded, Kyle Shanahan did say that would surprise me right now. So if Shanahan isn't really concerned about the arm fatigue, that's good, although he could just be saying that so that the fan base just doesn't go crazy. And then Garoppolo practicing, we'll see if he reports to training camp today. I expect him to get that physical, but then maybe he stays away from the facility as the Niners do try to trade him. Now, I want to hear from you in the comment section right now to gauge where this fan base is at, because the faithful is just the best. If you're excited to see what Trey Lance can do, I want you to rapid fire type 5 in the comment section right now. Now to the much anticipated nugget and nuggets from Mike Silver on the Colin Cowherd podcast on The Volume about Trey Lance. He said, and doubled down, the 49ers are concerned about Trey Lance. And he laid out some positives. He laid out some negatives as to what the inner thinking is in this organization. He said Trey Lance has CEO skills. Obviously, that's really important for a starting quarterback in this league. He doesn't think there are going to be Kyler Murray game film concerns. If you saw the language in that Murray extension, he has to do 4 hours of game film research by himself away from the facility every single week outside of bye weeks. He said that Lance has a really big arm and possesses obvious athleticism. As for the concerns, that's why the red background is there, concerns about Trey Lance's accuracy. There was a change in his mechanics, which does cause some arm soreness. He's been held out of practices this offseason because of that, and there will be experimentation if Lance is ready, if he's not ready, with how to really fine-tune this offense and get it in a groove. here's where things get interesting from Silver. He said to Cowherd, if you're a 49er fan and you don't think that the Niners are legitimately concerned in that building, then you are delusional. That's interesting for a couple of reasons. You have Shanahan saying the arm fatigue isn't a problem at all, and then you have Mike Silver saying that there are legitimate concerns inside that building. Now, I think there are factions of that organization who are fans of Jimmy Garoppolo, who wanted Mac Jones, and then the 49ers, of course, went with Trey Lance. But I'll tell you this. Training camp is officially here, and we're about to find out a couple of things about Trey Lance. If the arm fatigue concerns are actually legitimate, and most importantly, we're going to find out if Trey Lance can play, if he's ready and primed to be a starting quarterback in this league, and we'll see what he can do in this very complex offense under Kyle Shanahan that takes a long time to master. And last year, it looked as though Lance, at 20 years old when he was drafted, 21 years old during the season, if he's ready to really take the reins and lead this 49ers offense. So a couple of things that we're about to find out with training camp officially here. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned about arm soreness. If there are arm injuries, then that's, of course, very much a concern because you have to deal without the rigors of going through a 17-game schedule, as well as the training camp and the preseason. But the arm motion, whether it be for quarterbacks or pitchers, is a very unique motion. The human body is not designed to throw something overhead. It is designed to throw something like a softball pitch. So quarterbacks and pitchers, that's the anatomy of it, quarterbacks and pitchers deal with arm soreness. And Dak Prescott was held out of practices last year because of that shoulder injury. Basically, when he was rehabbing that really gruesome ankle injury, he would just sit in place and just throw a ball onto the couch. And because of that, he wasn't involving his lower body. There was no torque. There was no building up of that lower half because he couldn't use it. So Dak Prescott, in the preseason and in training camp in the lead up to the regular season and sometimes during the regular season, had to be held out of these practices because of arm soreness because he was just doing this all day. That's good, but it does lead to arm soreness because you are compensating. So this does happen to quarterbacks and pitchers, and it has happened, according to Mike Silver, to Trey Lance. Which C word are you, though, pertaining to Lance? 1 for concerned, 2 for confident. Chime in, sound off. Let me know what you think right now in the comment section. Now, on YouTube, the 49ers Report has north of 60,000 subscribers. We are the largest 49ers news and rumors channel on YouTube, but we also put our content on Rumble. Sometimes we go live exclusively there. Sometimes we put videos only on the Rumble side of things. Free and uncensored content on top of 49ers content, sports, news, politics, tech, and business. We continue to grow to the platforms that you use, so make sure you give us a follow with the season right around the corner. It's rumble.com/49erstv. Now, before we get out of here, I mentioned this off the top of the show. Have to do a training camp preview. So I put together a list of things to look out for with players reporting to training camp today. And another reason why you got to subscribe, we're probably going to be pushing out another video at the end of the day with all of the latest news, rumors, and injury updates. So training camp preview is officially here. Let's ride. Let's get to it. Number 1. The biggest storyline, will Trey Lance be ready as the starter? He started 2 games last year, was certainly up and down, and what he needs the most this offseason, it is experience. Number 2, how does the offense change with Lance? I think it's going to be more explosive. I think there's going to be more of a vertical passing game element to Kyle Shanahan's offense this year because Lance is able to chuck the ball deep as compared to Garoppolo, and of course, he can also provide mobility and a running game. Number 3, how does the offensive line shake out? Outside of Trent Williams, there are massive question marks along the trenches on the offensive side of the football. Who starts at left guard? Will it be Aaron Banks? Who starts at center? Will it be Jake Brendel? Who starts at right guard? Will it be Daniel Brunskill? And can Mike McGlinchey come back off that torn quad injury from a year ago and get back to playing good football? Number 4, who wins the starting safety job outside of Jimmy Ward? Is it going to be Talanoa Hufanga, who has a really big sophomore campaign ahead of him? Number 5, the running back competition is going to be sensational. Who wins the running back 1 number role? Is it going to be Elijah Mitchell, who last year was fantastic as a rookie but got a little bit banged up? Trey Sermon's been working out with Dalvin Cook throughout this offseason. Looks good in workouts. Can that translate to the practice field and the game field? And then what can Ty Davis Price bring to the table as another third-round pick like Trey Sermon this past year in the NFL draft coming out of LSU? Trey Sermon going into a big year too. Number 6, the battle for the nickel role. It's going to come down to Emmanuel Mosley. I kind of like him on the outside opposite of Charvarius Ward. Darqueze Dennard can also compete for that nickel role. So too can Samuel Womack, the rookie late-round pick. Bonus when we talk about this secondary. Charvarius Ward, is he ready to be a true number 1 cornerback? He's the best overall corner that this team has had since Richard Sherman back in 2019. Last year, the analytics were great. Does that translate to him being a bona fide number 1 guy on the outside? Number 7, can Javon Kinlaw finally break out? First-round pick from a couple of years ago, first 2 years in the NFL, he's barely done anything. Can he stay healthy? Can he be disruptive in the interior? Big year coming up for him. At number 8, the battle for wide receiver 3 is going to be intriguing. We know Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are going to be the number 1 and 2 wide receivers, but coming in at that 3 spot, will it be Jawan Jennings after he broke out last year? Can that momentum continue? Will it be Ray McLeod, who led the NFL as one of the best punt and kick returners last year? Is he more of a gadget guy, or can he also play wide out than the 3rd-round pick Danny Gray? Can he see significant snaps? Number 9, can the defense be a top 5 unit? I think they can be. After that 3-5 start last year, everybody wants to talk about Deebo breaking out, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. They were really starting to tear it up, but it was the defense that paced San Francisco from the middle portion of the season on and into the playoffs. And this year, they have all the makings of being a top 5 unit, and Nick Bosa certainly leading the way there. Number 10, there have been a lot of changes to this coaching staff. The special teams unit, one of the worst in the NFL last year. Brian Schneider comes over after a year off previously with the Seattle Seahawks. He's looking to turn that around. And then also, you bring in Anthony Lynn. You lose Mike McDaniel. You have Brian Griese as your quarterbacks coach. A lot of changes to this coaching staff, and instability in the coaching ranks can sometimes be difficult to overcome. At number 11, really a big storyline here. Will Nick Bosa, not Trey Lance, will Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel both get paid? Will they get those contract extensions? Deebo going into the final year of his deal. Nick Bosa has 1 year remaining. After that 5th year was exercised, he's due like $17-18 million in base salaries. So right now it's really Deebo, the point of emphasis to get a deal done, as well as Nick Bosa, both members of that historic 2019 draft class, both pillars of this 49ers organization moving forward. When will they get paid? And if they get paid, what type of bag are they going to secure? So that does it for our training camp preview. With that, I ask you this and leave you with this question. What are you most excited about for training camp? Let me know. Subscribe to the channel. And yes, real football is finally here. And this is the best place for all of your 49ers coverage.